this is Stover, the barbecue hunk. You're listening to the BBQ Central Show. Have a hunky day.
Start the game! Let's go!
We'll do it live. Okay. Well, do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and... Oh! Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
Good evening and welcome to a hunky BBQ Central Show. It's a show that talks about all things important to the world of barbecue and grilling, originating from the ultra hunky rock and roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio. The barbecue capital of the North Coast. I am your program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you. If you want to jump in on the show this evening, I'm happy to have you. You can do it one of two ways, phone call, or in lieu of a phone call, an email.
You can get in touch with the show by calling 216-220-0966. Email Greg at the BBQCentralShow.com. On the Twitter and Instagrams at BBQ Central Show.
Everything else you want to find out about the show can be found at the main website, thebbqcentralshow.com. And here's what's happening in case you didn't get the newsletter. Coming up in about 12 minutes from now, it is the first Tuesday of a new month, so you know what that means. There will be the standby regular guests that will fill in, do their thing. We will also have a guest that is, at this point in 2019, semi-recurring. Prior to 2019, nowhere to be found. Not her specifically, but the organization that she represents, nowhere to be found, at least on this show. But first up, the pitmaster of Killer Hogs competition team and the founder/creator, perhaps co-founder/creator, of How to BBQ Right, Malcom Reed, will be joining me. We'll get a quick recap on Malcolm's Thanksgiving that happened this past Thursday. Hopefully everybody that is listening whenever you consume this had a great Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving weekend. Big weekend, long weekend for a lot of us. Some stretched it out into yesterday. Maybe that was you as well. So hopefully you had a great one. So we'll catch up with Malcom on that. Malcom is also a very avid hunter, and I believe we are now in the teeth of hunting season. My boss has been out the last 2 days because he is deer hunting somewhere in southeast Ohio, which is evidently where all of the deer hunters go to hunt their deer. And we are only now a few weeks away from a huge holiday season. Whatever you celebrate, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, the traditional Christmas, whatever it is, there could be gifts being given, and you want to make sure that you're giving the best gifts possible. So we'll talk to Malcom about gifts that he's recommending for people that are asking him. Also, what is Malcom looking to get underneath the Christmas tree or menorah or whatever thing it is you put in your house to admire during this holiday season? Then we will part ways with Malcom and join the CEO of Kansas City Barbecue Society, Emily Detweiler. This is the semi-recurring person I was talking about. You saw her here when she was with Smithfield, but she's been on, this is probably her third or fourth time since making that land break announcement and exclusive announcement here on the Barbecue Central Show a handful of months back. And we will talk to her about a sale that is going on right now at KCBS, and it's not like something you're going to discount code for and buy, but it's a sale of the headquarters of KCBS as it sits right now. There's also a number of other business topics to address. Also, we'll look forward to 2020, not the least of which is the KCBS World Invitational. You remember that all the way back in February, the first installment of that. And that met with semi-mixed reviews, and we'll talk to Emily and see what might be in transition, what might look a little bit newer, what might look a lot of the same. All good stuff. Then we will transition into the second hour. Now, from a programming/format perspective, this will break just because I'm trying to accommodate, as a host with recurring guests, I do demand that if you're going to commit to me that you're going to be on in your segment, that you are going to be available. Now, I certainly understand that at times things will come up, perhaps even more important things than the show. I don't know why that would be hugely frequent, but just in case, I like to be pliable. I like to be amenable. I like to accommodate. Sam has business at the bottom of the second hour that popped up that he needs to tend to. And I said, why don't we do this? Instead of going really short and then having me try and figure out how I'm going to backfill on late notice, let's start right at the top of the second hour. So this is how it will sound. Intro to second hour music, Sam the cooking guy right off the bat, and we'll probably break off around 20 to 25 after. Then we have semi-open segment. I will get to top of the second hour stuff as I would normally do, like giving you the run-up on best of. Maybe I have a rant in the chamber, talking about social media stuff, all this. That will happen after Sam comes through. So just want to make sure that if you're going to stick with me through the next 2 hours, that you're not a little mind-boggled when we hit the top of the second hour, and instead of the normal stuff, I have a guest right off the bat. It happens from time to time. I think the last top of the hour guest was, Angel, the steak cooking champ. What was her last name? Angel Reed sticks in my mind, but I'm pretty sure it's not Angel Reed. Angel Todd. That's what it is. Angel Todd. I knew it. I think she was the last very top, just so we could fit it in. Anyway, that's what's happening. We have Malcom Reed coming up here shortly. We have Emily Detweiler after Malcolm. We have Sam the cooking guy, top of the second hour. And then we'll have some fun and hijinks after that. Maybe we'll have some giveaways. It is the holiday season, so even if you don't like the prize, you can re-gift if you want. Couple things to get out of the way. Last week, we talked about a huge-ass cutting board with Richie Robin from Gator Pit. A lot of you sent me emails saying that you were taking advantage of that, and it did come out to that $148 and change after the 10% discount. That code, if you've been waiting on the fence for the last 7 days, is BBQ Central. You can call Richie if you want and say, hey, I heard about these cutting boards on the BBQ Central Show. Can I get that hookup? If you can't remember BBQ Central Show. And I'm sure he'll be more than happy to accommodate you. But again, that coupon code as you check out through gatorpit.net is BBQ Central. It saves you 10%. And you're right in that 148, 149 range after it's all said and done. I used that cutting board again this weekend a couple different times. And I'm telling you, the amount of food that you can put on this thing is incredible. And I was honestly a bit apprehensive when it actually reached me because I said, there's just no way in hell I'm going to be able to wash this thing in my normal sink because it is 18 inches wide and it's 36 inches long and it's a half-inch thick and it's not going to fit in my 2-bay sink. The only other option that I was thinking about at that point was having to take it down into the basement where my utility tub is. And as it's laying out long ways after I had used it for a good hour or two, I said, you know what? This grease trap that runs all the way around this cutting board is phenomenal. It's deep. The juices do not cause it to overrunneth its sides. And all I did was take a whole bunch of paper towels and just kind of gently sopped up all the major juices, natural juices. And then I took my dish wand, right? And this is right out on the counter. Did the whole dish wand thing. Took my Purell spray, sprayed the top down, let it sit 3 minutes to disinfect properly. and then came back over it with a clean, wet rag a few different times to rinse. And I was in business. Super easy to wash now. No reason this should not be on my counter all the time. Soon as I figured out in my brain that I could wash it on the counter, easy stuff. So there's no reason that you shouldn't be racing over to get one. Again, GatorPit.net. And then I think there's a store button at the top right. It's red. And you can go. The first thing listed is that cutting board. Go ahead and buy one. And those rubber feet are so ridiculously great, by the way. So convenient, locks everything in place. And I do want to thank Richie Robin because 2 days later, he sent me my first pecan pie or pecan pie. I don't know if you've partaken in the pecan pie or pecan pie, however the hell you're supposed to say it. I'm not a huge nut guy, but pecan pie just might have overtaken number one pie in the industry for me, and that's over cherry pie. I love cherry pie now. A good tart cherry pie, my favorite. But pecan pie now might be my favorite. They're all my favorite. You know what else is my favorite? Big Papa Smokers. That's right, Sterling Ball and the gang over there. Shopping online for all things barbecue. A curated selection of only the best outdoor cooking and grilling supplies. We'll get you on the path to better barbecue results in no time. Everything at BigPapaSmokers.com has been pitmaster approved by Sterling Big Papa Ball himself. From the award-winning rubs and sauces to the American-made grills and smokers, Big Papa Smokers has everything you need to be a better outdoor cook. They have these great rubs and spices. 13, by the way, if you're counting. That's my favorite number, by the way, lucky 13. Popular flavors like Sweet Money, Cattle Prod, Cash Cow, Desert Gold, Double Secret Steak Rub. Can I get a little jalapeno bacon on that? Yeah, you betcha. Whole bunch to choose from. You're not going to be disappointed. They also team up with Steph Franklin over at Simply Marvelous Barbecue. Put those two rubs together, you're messing around with the West Coast offense at your discretion. They also own Granny's Barbecue Sauce. If you're sick of the old standard sauces that are out there looking for something new, try out Granny's Barbecue Sauce. They're also selling smokers over there. You know what I'm talking about, right? If you're looking for a versatile smoker that's easy to use, check out that Mac 2-Star General Pellet Grill. Big Papa Smokers is the exclusive Mac dealer and even offers special packages that nobody else can. If you're not a fan of the pellet cookers, try the Old Hickory Ace BP. It's the only charcoal smoker that Big Papa trusts on his competition trailer. If you're not sure what smoker you need, you really can't go wrong with anything being sold on BigPapaSmokers.com. If you have questions, you call them 877-828-0727. That's 877-828-0727, or you shop their website for crying out loud, BigPapaSmokers.com. That's BIGPOPPA Smokers.com. We are back with Malcom Reed of How to BBQ Right next. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live from the BBQ Central Show studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the BBQ Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by Butcher Barbecue, makers of award-winning injections, marinades, rubs, seasonings, barbecue sauce, grilling oils. All of Butcher Barbecue products have been tested on the competition circuit as well as backyards worldwide. Be the pitmaster of your neighborhood and visit butcherbbq.com to stock up now. Always trust your butcher. As I said last week, if you are on the hunt for new barbecue-related podcasts, while I don't typically promote other barbecue podcasts because they mostly suck, David has a new barbecue podcast. Episode 4 was just released, and he does a really good podcast. Mostly because he gained wisdom and knowledge from me. But it was up to him. It's like they say in competition classes, right? You show up, they can give you all the information and all this stuff, and it's really up to the student to then go apply it and make sure that you are taking what you learn. And that's the biggest disconnect. That's why you don't go to Darren War's class, you don't go to a Rod Gray class back in the day, and then all of a sudden the next competition, you're winning grand championships. You have to be able to then replicate what they're telling you. Same thing goes, right? Dave was asking me questions. I gave him some info, and now he is off and running, and man, he is doing really well. So congratulations to Dave. All right, first Tuesday of the month brings a visit from the pitmaster of Killer Hogs team and the, I think, co-founder of How to BBQ Right. I don't want Rochelle to potentially slit my neck, Malcolm. So, I mean, are you co-founder of How to BBQ Right?
Yeah, I'm barely co-founder.
Barely co-founder. All right, so you are the general manager of How to BBQ Right, and Rochelle is CEO of How to BBQ Right.
Yeah, I'm one of the pawns, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. Way to go. You're just talking. You're the pretty face of the company, right?
That's right.
That's
yeah.
Right. No doubt. All right, so Malcolm, we have a lot of things to talk about here this evening. Let's quickly run back a handful of days to Thanksgiving. You had said on your show that I listen to as I get in my morning runs that Thanksgiving is your favorite holiday of holidays. So how did it turn out?
It was fantastic, man. We had Mike was out of school the whole week, so we had a whole week of Thanksgiving. Spent a lot of time in the woods, and we got to go to Rochelle's family the Sunday before, and then my family on actually Thanksgiving Day. So we had 2 good meals, and man, it was a blast.
Is it all turkey all the time, or because multiple Thanksgiving dinners are to be had, you change it up a little bit?
Well, we kind of do a little bit of it all. We had ham and turkey, and Rochelle's granddad always does some really good pork tenderloin that they kind of reverse sear and bring it up slow and then sear it off, and that stuff's phenomenal. And I think there was even some fried chicken at one of them. I mean, we had Rochelle's family. I think there was 23 great grandkids. These are all kids now, under 10.
23 great grandkids?
That's just the great grandkids. So you can imagine her generation is the grandkids, and then her parents, and then the grandparents. So there was a house full there. So I bet there was 40 people.
Are great grandparents like 153 years old or what? I mean, that's crazy.
They're up there, but I don't think they're quite that old.
Wow, I mean, that's a lot of generations in a house.
It is, and it's a small little farmhouse, so we have a big time there.
Do you think that pork tenderloins are one of the more underrated and or overlooked pieces to cook?
Oh man, they are. And I don't know why you don't see more. Everybody goes for that big pork loin. I guess you see it at the grocery store, and it's at Sam's, are 3 foot long, but those little pork tenderloins that come in a 2-pack, man, that's some fine eating.
Yeah, there are. We eat them at the house all the time. We go to Costco. It's the same thing. It's a dual pack of 2 in a pack, and super easy to whip up. I usually take mine to 135 degrees. I'll carry over maybe to 140, but I'm a little okay with pink in the middle. For some reason, my wife is okay with a little pork pink. Getting lost in my peas here. A little okay with a little pink in the middle of her pork as well. So, and man, they're so adaptable. They take on flavors so well. We had we used your Jamaican jerk rub on one. We used my traditional like sweet money / Butcher's Barbecue honey rub on another. I mean, each one could be its own flavor experience.
That's what I like about them. In the grocery stores, I've seen them marinated in different flavors. You can get the Asian style. There's like a garlic one. There's a honey mustard. I mean, they do it all kinds of ways, and I hadn't had a bad one.
All right, so let's talk about hunting. You're a big hunting guy. If we count the next time I go hunting, that will be the first time I go hunting. So is that a family tradition for you?
Well, I don't know about a family tradition, but I'm trying to get Michael into it. Me and my brother go most of the time together. I got some buddies that hunt with me, but we try to spend this time of year, things slow down business-wise, and we try to spend as much time as we can outdoors chasing deer.
So what's the attraction? Here's how I see it, because my boss is out there doing it right now, and I don't know what kind of weather you're having out there in Tennessee right now, but it is really turned into winter, at least over the last handful of days here in Cleveland. So it is kind of snowing. If it's not snowing, it's definitely a semi-hard wet rain. It's 33 to 34 degrees. you're going to be outside. It doesn't seem like deer are like running across the field at a rapid rate where you can just take your submachine gun and start mowing them down for a haul. And you could be out there for hours on end freezing your ass off and come home with nothing. It almost sounds as great as fishing.
Oh, that's exactly what it's like.
Oh, dear. That sounds terrible.
But it's a great time to be outside and reflecting your own thoughts, Greg. Everything's so fast paced nowadays with, the internet at your fingertips on your phones and meetings and phone calls and podcasts and videos and all the stuff that you get tied up in. It's just nice to get away and enjoy it outside and it's being sitting there alone a lot of times.
So is it more for that? And then if you get a deer, that's a bonus?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty mad at them. I like to shoot them.
Do you have an issue with deer just like everybody else is? I mean, here in Cleveland, where I live, there's literally no woods in Wickliffe. I'm 10 minutes outside of downtown Cleveland, and the deer roam the streets like they are a new gang set, and they don't care. They're unafraid. They will come right up onto your front door if you're sitting outside on the stoop and eat your plants right in front of you. They seem totally unaffected, and perhaps it's just because we've developed so much of their own habitat, they have nowhere to go. But I also think that there is just a huge over deer population that needs to be culled quite a bit.
That's it. I mean, we're kind of encroached on their territory. That's why you see so many of them. And as they pop up neighborhoods and suburbs and cities, you see more deer. But it was their land first, and we kind of invaded their space. But yeah, they cause a lot of accidents. Here in Mississippi, we have our fair share of deer population. So it's not, you ride up and down the highways and roads and you see them hit by cars. It does a lot of damage. And so we try, it's not so much as they're tearing up farmers' crops anymore as you're trying to control them so they don't cause accidents. And anything that gets overpopulated, I mean, they start getting disease and spreading, various things. And so nature has its way of taking them out. But the hunters, we try to do our fair share, and we try to eat all the ones that we take, so we don't just throw them away.
All right, so did we come on the positive or the negative for deer hunting?
Oh yeah, no, I've had some luck. I killed a nice doe, got some meat in the freezer, and we've been taking our kids with us. So we put, one of the kids killed a nice 8-point already, and we've been seeing a lot of young bucks. So we try to let those grow up, and we try to shoot the older does and let the kids have a fair share at killing something. So it's kind of social too. We try to have a good time with it, but I'm still waiting on a big one.
So is it a real thing happening has Michael taken his first deer already?
Last year he was lucky enough to shoot his first deer, and this year he's been kind of a little more selective.
Oh,
he's kind of trying to trophy hunt a little bit now.
Got it. So on that first deer, do you make him run down and produce the buck knife, cut his throat open, and drink a hot cup of blood or anything like that?
We didn't get into any of that. I may have smeared a little blood on his face when we were cleaning it, but I didn't make him eat the heart or anything.
Yes, yeah, that seems a little aggressive, I guess. All right, so successful hunting. Is that a gun hunting then, or do you bow hunt too, or what?
Right now we're rifle season, but yeah, archery kicked off several months ago. I usually leave that alone because the mosquitoes, they'll eat you up. So, I wait till first good frost, the weather starts getting cold, and usually it's youth season for a couple weeks, and then it goes into a primitive weapon, and then now it's rifle season. So
what's a primitive weapon?
Muzzle loader type weapon, black powder.
Really?
But nowadays they're about like a modern rifle, really.
All right. Wow. Malcom Reed joining us here on the show, talking about deer hunting season. So is that almost how long does that run? A month or 2 or 3?
It'll go to the end of January here in Mississippi.
Right.
So we've still got a ways to go. 2 more months. I guess we got all of December and all of January.
Yeah. All right. So you're going to get back out there again?
Oh yeah. I may go in the morning.
All right. So do you set a quota of deer that you like to hit during season, or just whatever you can get, you'll take?
No, I try to put some meat in the freezer, and then we get real selective, and we just look for the older, mature animals. But I don't have a number that I have to take or anything. We try to take a few out of the herd just to help control the population, but I give some away too.
All right, so in a couple weeks, Malcolm, we have Christmas coming up, obviously a bunch of other major holidays as well, and that typically involves gift giving. And if you are an expert in such a barbecue celebrity as yourself, people have to be running up to you on the street all the time. But Malcom, my husband or my wife or whatever it is, they're really into barbecue and grilling. What should I be getting them? So do you have a list of items that either media outlets are asking you to submit to them that they can reprint, or when these folks run up to you and ask you for your ideas, that you whip out 3 or 4 items that they should be looking at?
Well, I don't, I get asked all the time, and I guess the main thing that I recommend is probably a good thermometer. And I always go with the ThermoWorks. I mean, if you got one of those dot probe thermometers where you can put it in the meat and watch it while it cooks.
Yep. And
then you have a ThermoPen or a ThermoPop that you can see a really good accurate temperature when it's done. I mean, those are essential to me barbecue tools. Also recommend grill grates a lot. That's something that'll change your grilling game. If you're into cooking steaks or grilling stuff, over a hot fire, those things work great. And I don't know, let's see, what else do I recommend? You can't go wrong with PK Grill.
Yeah. Do you find that when I always, I'm with you. The first thing I always recommend, I say, if you don't have a really good instant read meat thermometer, that's going to be the first thing that's going to elevate whatever it is you're currently experiencing in your house, which is probably mediocre at best, to a significant jump right off the bat. It has nothing to do with rubs, has nothing to do with cooking temperature, anything like that. But if you're pulling the stuff off at the right temperature, then that is going to change your whole food experience for the better. So totally on board with that. Now, people do give me a little flack when they go to thermoworks.com and they see ThermoPen, they see it's $85. And I quickly overcome that objection and say, I have 2 or 3 of them. And this is one of those things where, and I guess it's like anything in life, right? You buy the best, you only cry once. This is especially true with an accurate thermometer. You can buy a piece of crap thermometer, and it might be accurate kind of for the first handful of times that you use it. But if you're not checking it all the time in boiling water, so you can then adjust to how inaccurate it has become over a 2-week period of time, you're going to be going out and buying another one. You're buying another one. Well, 7 thermometers later, you could have had that ThermoPen, and it would have been the same one. And now we're at break even on the ROI. You're probably at a loss on the cheaper one. So when you talk about grills, do you also, is like your first question before you rifle off a couple suggestions, what's your budget, or do you have a budget or anything like that? Or you just tell them what you think you would like?
Well, it's always budget minded usually when you're talking with somebody that's looking to buy a grill, unless they come out and tell you how much they got to spend. But I usually start off with, what do you want to use it for? Are you wanting something you can smoke and grill on? Are you just wanting a smoker? Are you trying to stay within a certain dollar amount? A lot of times, most people are looking for an economical smoker, not just a grill. They usually have a grill. So I go with the drum style grills, like the pit barrel, or, that's a great one. Big Papa sells a kit that you can buy, and build your own drum. Right. That's always a great option. Some people like to build their own stuff, and that really works great. And then if you want a fancier one, those Gateway ones are hard to beat. But there's a lot of great options out there. All those are well under $1,000,
You running any Killer Hog product specials over the holiday season?
Yeah, we always put together some bundle packs. There's some things on the website Rochelle's got going on. I know we come out with some, sweet. I think it's called the Sweet Bundle Pack or something like that. It's got some different things paired in it. We've got a spicy one, and we've got some Ultimate Fan Packs and things like that. So it's just stuff that we do during the holidays. If you're looking for Christmas gifts, you can pick up on the store.
All right,
she don't give me any control over that stuff. So.
Well, that's right. That's because you're the pretty face, and she's the person that controls everything. Come on. KillerHogs.com is the website if they want to check it out, right?
That's it. Go to killerhogs.com or howtobarbecueright.com. Either one, man.
All right. Now, let's get to the important question here. What is Malcom Reed hoping to find under the tree this holiday season?
What am I hoping to find, or what I know that I'm going to get? Because that's going to be socks, Greg. I know it.
Socks? Oh, dear.
No, I'll tell you what I want. This is kind of specific, but I've got Miss Jolene out in the garage, and I'll roll her out to do some videos when I'm cooking on my stick burner. Yep. I need me a wood rack that I can put my splits in and roll out too. So if Santa Claus or somebody's listening out there, I could use me a rolling wood rack.
Oh, have you seen those before? Do they make those rolling wood racks?
I've started looking like on Amazon, and I haven't seen anything that really like, I was just thrilled about. A lot of the ones I see are carts that you would use to pull wood in from the wood pile for your fireplace. So I may have to go that route. But I had envisioned like, one of these nice ones that you see people stacking wood in that's just on wheels, but I hadn't found it yet.
Yeah, I have one. It's not mobile though, so it stays in the backyard and it sits just behind my lang. And when I get a new delivery of wood, it's they used to call it a rick of wood, and now it's a half cord or whatever it is. But it seems like it's probably 5 to 6 feet high, and maybe 8 feet long, maybe 10 feet long or something like that. And the guy comes from the west side of Cleveland and gives me all my cherry wood, and then we stack it up. And but it's definitely not mobile. I probably wouldn't care too much to put it in the garage, but you'd like to keep the wood in the garage to keep it dry all the time?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And I'm just, I'm definitely not going to put like half a cord on it, but I like to keep, several sticks stacked up that I'm going to run a cook. I mean, when I buy it, I usually buy wood by the big, I don't know, it's like a 50-pound sack of it. And it's, burning wood for smoking. It's not just like something I've chopped down or anything, but I was thinking that I could, get it stacked up, perfect splits, and then have it to where I can just roll it out and be right there by Jolene.
Yeah, all right. Santa, if you're listening, Malcolm wants a rolling wood manger, so make sure you make that happen for him this coming Christmas. Do you have an update on the trailer that you're having built? We talked about that a couple months ago, and I think in between you were given the green light, and then all of a sudden you were at a crossroads of how you actually wanted to proceed, but I know you've since pulled the trigger and things are in development, so where is that happening?
Yeah, it's, I've already put my money down. So the deposit's paid and it's already in the frame shop. So they're working on the frame on it as we speak. I'm looking to have it here right after the first of the year if everything goes well. So I was surprised by how fast those guys were. I was thinking 4 or 5 months, but hey, it's going to be about 6 weeks. So that's pretty awesome to build a trailer. How did you end up outfitting it? Well, I went with a 28-foot bumper pull trailer, beefed up axles on it so it could handle the weight of the smokers. But I kind of split it up into 3 compartments. Up front, it's going to have like a little, in the V-nose will be storage, and then it'll have a bedroom, and then it can have 2 sets of bunks. And then when you come out of there into the main cooking area, it's going to have a walk-in bathroom, full-size shower, toilet, hand sink, the whole 9 yards. And then it's going to have my prep area, which is going to be, like a big stainless sink, overhead cabinets, prep counter. And it's also going to have like a folding sofa in there. And then you go out a door onto the porch, and that's where the smoker and everything will be. So it's kind of divided up, but it should work out great, I hope.
Last thing before I let you go, I did hear on I don't know if it was this, well, you were off this past week because of the holiday, but you had made an announcement maybe on the last podcast or the one before that the How to BBQ Right app is back out and available for download.
Yes, we finally got it, the update released on it, and it's working great from what I can hear. I think there's been a few bugs, but it's for Android and for the iPhones. It's been updated, and they added some new features to it where you can like some of the stuff on it, or if you want to save it for future reference as far as the recipes and stuff, you can listen to our podcast on it, and of course, watch all the YouTube stuff we do and just kind of keep up with what's going on in How to BBQ Right world.
All right. Well, if you have a smart device, make sure that you get it. I know it's on my Android device, and as Malcolm said, you can obviously get it on iOS as well. You see him here the first Tuesday of the month. Believe it or not, Malcolm, this closes out the first year that we did 12 in a row, if you can believe it. I don't think. Maybe we missed one, maybe, but I think we got at least 11 out of 12 in, which is absolutely phenomenal. Hopefully you've had a good time doing it, and I look forward to starting 2020 with you next year.
Hey, Greg, it's been a crazy year, man. It seems like it was just yesterday we started, but I've had a blast, man. I'm looking forward to next year.
All right, Malcolm, thanks so much.
I got to get you on my podcast next year, man. Maybe we could do a little crossover.
Yeah, man, we'll do it. Have a great holiday. Tell everybody I said hi.
You too, man. See you in 2020.
Take care. There he is, Malcom Reed. We'll see him in 2020 because 2019 is rapidly coming to a close. You see, you thought I was kidding when I said that all the way back in January, but now it's not so funny anymore, is it? No, it's not. 2019 is rapidly coming to a close. That trailer sounds pretty succulent. Where did my file go? There we go. All right. That's Malcom Reed, How to BBQ Right. HowToBBQRight.com, the video page, also KillerHogs.com if you want to check him out there. Either way, you can get at him. Also, he had mentioned that the app is all ready to go. Refound, re-downloaded, re-released, the bugs worked out, however you want to say it. So if you have any type of smartphone device platform, go to your app store and search for How to BBQ Right. Again, I use Android, and I was able to find it very quickly. And it does work as advertised. I didn't find any bugs on my end, so good for me. Emily Detweiler coming up out of the break. Stick around, be right back.
Continuing to produce incredibly mediocre content in an exceptionally professional way. You're listening and watching the BBQ Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Hey, this portion of the show being brought to you by CookingPellets.com, your number one source for quality wood pellets. For all of your pellet-driven cookers, if, and I say if, you are looking for great flavors, some options for 100% wood, you want to go to CookingPellets.com and purchase. Great gifts as well. You can also get it on Amazon if you want, no problem. Here to help Chris Becker with great variations and flavors of wood pellets. CookingPellets.com. That's CookingPellets.com. All right, my next guest in the first hour is the current CEO of the Kansas City Barbecue Society, and we are here to discuss some KCBS business and get updates. Friend of show, Emily Detweiler. Hey, Emily.
Hey, Greg. How are you tonight?
I am fine. Are you still out west, or have you made it back to the heart of America?
I am still out west, having some California adventures.
So, is it a business related, or is it mostly just R&R, or what's happening out there?
Mostly some R&R with my family. So,
Nice.
yeah, good times out here.
Now, I saw that you were at Disneyland. I'm just going to assume because you have kids in that range, and because you're kind of in the center of the country, that maybe you've been to both Disney World and Disneyland. Is that true?
Oh, it is now. So this is my first trip to Disneyland, but I have not taken my children to Disney World, but I have myself. When I was in high school, I played in the marching band, and I had the distinct privilege of marching down Main Street USA in Disney World, and then competing in the Disney Navigation Games. So I have been to parks now.
How do you compare and contrast? Is the one out in California just a smaller version of the one in Florida, or are there pretty distinct differences?
I would say there's pretty distinct differences. It's also been over 20 years since I've been to the other one, so I'm sure things have changed dramatically, but I can honestly say as a parent, I am so glad to have taken my children to the smaller of the two, but it's been fantastic.
Great stuff. Emily Detweiler joining us here on the show. So let's go ahead and talk about some KCBS stuff that's happening. Not the least of which is a vote that has to go out to membership that involves the sale of the current KCBS headquarters. So before I start mistalking, why don't you go ahead and kind of brief us on where the transaction is at and what you need from your membership?
Yeah, fantastic. Well, thanks for asking. So it's been a really exciting couple of months coming on board and just making things continue to happen, which has been great. Mm-hmm. The KCBS building has been for sale for almost a year now, probably over a year, actually. And we've just been waiting for the right buyer to come along, and it's in a great area. So anyway, we just recently found a buyer with a market-based offering, which is fantastic. It's going to be great for KCBS. to proceed. So, basically what we've got at this point is a really, really qualified buyer. We're full on into a purchase sale agreement time period and all of that. So looking fantastic. Our plan at this point is to take the proceeds from the sale of the building and reinvest it back into the mission. I think at the time when the previous, it's been a couple boards ago actually, thought about buying this building, the vision was different than it is now. And at the time, that vision was really to be able to get some other tenants on board and help kind of pay for it, basically, and pave the way. And unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. And so at this point, we've got this fantastic building that's way bigger than what we need. It's a nice place. It's a great property. It's right next to the Boulevard Brewery, but it just hasn't lived up to what I think the original vision for it was. So, again, about a year ago, the board at that time had made the decision to put it up for sale and had a buyer, and it just didn't, something happened and didn't pan out. So anyway, that happened. We understand that. So we were really excited when we got this buyer to come in. And anyway, so because of our status as a nonprofit in the state of Missouri, one of the key steps that's required, Greg, is that we have to have the membership vote on it. So, the board and I have looked at it. We've run the numbers. We really believe that the fiduciary responsibilities of the membership requires that we need to proceed with the sale. And I'm still in the process of identifying exactly where we're going to go, but we have some other really good options for a lease for much smaller space. It's really all we need in terms of, office staff. We really don't, at this point, get a ton of visitors. Contest reps that love to come pick up their checks and say hello, and we appreciate that very much. But, for the most part, at this point, we just don't need this huge building and all of the expenses that come with it. Sure. So we, so at this point, you asked about the vote. So, yeah, we've got a vote going right now. It's actually live for members in good standing to go online, and essentially all they have to do is log into their membership portal and go into the engagement section, and the voting election booth for them is right open there. We made it as simple as possible. Yes, I approve this transaction, and no, I don't. So obviously, we're asking for the yes, I approve this transaction to proceed.
Is there any thought as to why this would get voted down or not approved, or you think this is just more of a formality? People will just go in, they understand the position financially that this could put KCBS in, and they'll all be on board and just vote yes, and away you go.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've seen a couple comments coming through on social media. I think for the most part, and I've seen where we stand so far. So far, the results are resounding. Yes, proceed, with this transaction. Because I think people understand that at the end of the day, we need to do what's in the best interest of KCBS. And from where we're at right now, we need to take the action of getting out of this long-term debt and, from the building itself, and proceed with the new option that's going to be more cost-effective from an overall structure perspective. So that's really where we're standing at the moment. And, again, leading into more transparency overall, that's definitely been something that in my short time here, we've been focusing on sharing as much as we can, and also making decisions to be able to share more information with the membership. And so that's what we're trying to do right now. Mm-hmm. We've got this fantastic building that, quite frankly, is a little bit more expensive than we should be in. And that's just, Midwesterner being as straightforward as possible. We bought more than at the time we really could afford. And so, again, I think the original vision was great in terms of trying to make it something additional where you could have all kinds of other tenants. But when you realize that something isn't working out that way, you have to ask yourself, do we keep putting all this money into it? Or do we take this great qualified buyer and do we get that money back out of it, get into a space that really fits our needs for right now in a more cost-effective way, and reinvest that into our mission? And that's what we've made the decision to do.
Yeah, so, it sounds like from what you're saying, and I'm certainly not asking for specifics, but assuming everything is executed properly, no hiccups along the way, you will have a net gain on sale that will, cover the nut that you have on the building, maybe a little extra to roll in as you're talking about reinvesting back into the mission of KCBS then. It's not going to be a loser.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's exactly right. Yeah.
Emily Detweiler from the KCBS is joining us here on the show. When does the voting for that supposed to close?
I believe it's supposed to close next Monday.
Okay.
But at this point, we would definitely ask that everybody log in and vote. Sooner is always better than later, but we are working all of this concurrently with some of the other legalese that's happening behind the scenes with the broker and the buyer. So things are really looking in good shape.
Let's talk about some marketing things and other programs that help bring visibility to KCBS. I know there's a lot of things that you're probably jumping on as fires start to sprout up, but where do you see the current marketing programs as they sit, and how are you trying to readjust those to meet your specific vision to steer that ship?
Yeah, that's a great question, Greg. And, I think you're part of the membership, so you've probably seen some of the emails that have gone out recently. So again, if we really, in my time on board and working with the board, we've really had a chance to dig in more to the numbers and the contracts that have been in place and things like that, partnerships that we've had, the contractors we're working with, those types of things. So, at this point, what we have decided to do, and it's always hard to make decisions that are different and change is uncomfortable for some people, but we've had to make a decision to end some of our longer-term multi-year agreements that we've got in place. As we figure out, again, how to best right-size some of the marketing programs, make them more cost-effective, really make them a little bit more conducive to what the specific partners are looking for. Mm-hmm. Again, I think that all marketing programs over time, they kind of go through the course of do we invest back in them and grow them in a different direction, or do they have they served their purpose and we need to do something different to break through? And that's really kind of where we're at right now, Greg. So I think the programs that we've had in the past have been good. There's nothing wrong with any of the programs that have transpired, but I think we're at a point right now where we need to do things a little bit differently, both in terms of from a cost perspective and make them more cost effective, but also to really make them more engaging and exciting for a broader audience. And it's no secret. We've been talking for quite a while about how do we continue to have a strong base in the outdoor cooking enthusiast space, but also attract a younger audience. And that's the dichotomy that we're going after right now. And that's what our partners and potential partners are looking for as well. So we're trying to find new ways to do just that.
Does this involve bringing a lot of that back in-house? I know at points it was outsourced, whether it be through somebody like back in the day, it was an MMA creative that was coming in and do a lot of marketing and stuff like that. Are you looking to recapture that back in-house?
Great question. So yes, we are looking to recapture that back in-house. The good thing is, from a KCBS perspective, that's a lot of the background that I bring, which is, partially why I was asked to come take on this big task. So yes, I'm excited to be able to bring more of that in-house. I think based on the conversations that I've also had with those existing and potential partners, that also is something that I think there's an excitement for, just in terms of, again, really being able to be a little bit closer to the everyday portion of the mission and vision of what KCBS brings to life. So it definitely will help us in terms of being as nimble as possible, both from a timeline perspective, but also from a cost perspective. So, I think we'll really be able to do a nice job of delivering both on the needs of the partners, sponsors, really, as well as being able to make decisions very quickly and move seamlessly, in-house. So, yeah, we're in the process of finding somebody to really help. So if anybody is interested, and we will have a posting that's going to go live in the next couple of days. And we're going to be looking for somebody based in Kansas City, because that's where we are. And again, the whole purpose of having somebody come in-house is to be able to be a part of that, and really to be able to be part of the team, the staff that is grinding it out every day and being able to change and do what we need to do very efficiently. So that's what we're planning for there, Greg.
All right, so we'll be on the lookout. If anybody's in the Kansas City area and you're a marketing genius, you might want to keep your eyes peeled for that. We're talking with Emily Detweiler, CEO of Kansas City BBQ Society. Just a couple random items here before I let you go. Will there be a second edition of the Kansas City BBQ Society's World Invitational?
So I'm not quite ready to announce a date and location just yet, but you'll be the first one, Greg, when I am, because I know that you love to have BBQ Central exclusive news.
Always, yes.
Yes, but it is definitely something that we're working through right now. We're still kind of in the process of identifying what worked, what didn't. There's a lot that worked really well for the last one, so again, we're thinking that more than likely it'll be in that November time period. So, just kind of develop a teaser right now. But, that's something that we're getting very close with the events committee at CBS to be able to nail down and bring to life, because we know that people really loved it. And we're excited to be able to bring it back. And also, think about ways that we can incorporate, whether it's incorporating the backyard teams as well, maybe some other types of fun engagement like that. So, yes, it's definitely something that is still in the works.
All right, so aside from the voting on the sale of the building, there's also going to be voting for, like, open board seats and stuff like that coming up shortly as well?
That's right. Yep, this is definitely that critical time of year. We've been very forthright with who the candidates are. We're down to 11 candidates for next year. I think they're all very strong. So that is exciting. I think we've got a really good board in place today, and so it's exciting to be able to see the next slate coming in behind them to continue to help support and really drive the business of KCBS forward. Obviously, I know we need to continue to stay true to our roots, but we also need to do that in a way that has longevity and good business acumen behind it, because otherwise we won't survive, in the long term. So I think from what I've seen from the slate of nominees, again, we've got some really strong candidates with a lot of strong background. I mean, they obviously all have love of KCBS hearts, a lot of, experience, whether it's through judging, being contestants of teams or contest organizers, things like that. We've got a wide variety of expertise, but we've also got a lot of professional background that I think is going to be critical in helping us, as we move forward. So I think based on the candidates that I've seen, I think we're going to see a really nice blend of new and existing board members. So I'm definitely excited about that. Voting will begin January 2nd for that. So again, we really encourage the entire membership to get out and vote for that election, because it really is important. And then obviously, we will announce the winners of that election at the banquet, which is January 17th and 18th in Kansas City.
Is there still open spots for that, or is that pretty much a sellout at this point?
Yeah, no, great question. So I still get all of the Eventbrite emails as they come in, so I get to see all of the tickets that are being purchased. Ticket sales are definitely strong this year, so we're going to see a lot of attendees at the banquet, which I'm excited about. But we do still have some seats available. So, yes, if your listeners are interested in attending the banquet and coming to hang out and have a good time, there is still space available. I'll be hosting a lunch on that Friday, so if people want to come and have a round table and talk with me, get to know me a little bit better, ask some fun and hard questions, I'm definitely open to that.
Nice.
And we will have, we've got the rest of the agenda posted on the KCBS website, so people can see what we've got going on Friday and Saturday. We also have a free table captain class if anybody wants to become a certified table captain. And then certainly we've got a lot of fun in store for Saturday night during the banquet. I'm really excited. So I've attended the banquets in my past days with Brookfield as a sponsor. But I have not had the privilege of participating in one of these contest swapping sessions. So I personally, that's one of the things I'm the most excited to see. So, attendees can raffle for a raffle ticket, which is going to be $2. They can get the chance to have a free admission into a contest around the country throughout the year. And from what I understand, it gets pretty darn competitive, and we even have to have like a special little section roped off where people can have their trading conversations. So it's a little spirited and fun, Greg. If you're not doing it within January 18th, you might need to come to Kansas City to do a live broadcast or at least experience this.
All right, we'll talk about that off air for sure. Last thing before I let you go was Cyber Monday yesterday. I think it's Giving Tuesday today. Do you have any suggestions on Giving Tuesday with the remaining hours left?
That is a great question. So I would suggest that people go on to KCBS.us and think about donating to our 501c3 foundation. You know, that helps provide scholarships for our members, member kids, and for a small donation, you know, you can really make a big impact in people's lives. And it's been really fun to review some of the applications and their stories and really understand what an impact it does make to these kids as they're going through, whether it's, you know, full college, 2-year college, whatever it is they're doing. It's just awesome that, you know, the spirit of barbecue lives on and through the giving. So I would certainly encourage you to consider it if you're interested in giving. Obviously, any day is fantastic, but being Giving Tuesday, I think that's always a great thing to consider. And we definitely can help with providing tax deduction letters as well for any of those gifts.
Live from California, it is the CEO of the KCBS, Emily Detweiler. Emily, appreciate you making time for the show this evening, and enjoy the rest of your vacation. Thanks for making time.
All right. Always grateful to be here. Thank you, Greg, and have a good evening.
You got it. There she is, Emily Detweiler, the CEO of KCBS, yeah. And she's doing a vacation out there. That's the wrong button. And making time for the show. You know, I was really only interested in is the, you know, because I'm business guy, so I want to know if the building sale was a winner, a cover, or a loser, and it's a winner. So that's good. That's good news for everyone. You should vote yes if you're a KCBS member. By the way, I am not.
Andrew, you are not.
I am not a KCBS member. I just get a lot of information thrown my way. I'm typically in the know. I am not a KCBS member. I remain impartial. That's it. Always been that way. Let me talk to you quickly about the Barbecue Guru. Always believing that barbecue and grilling should be fun and easy, because it can be. With the Barbecue Guru pit temperature control device, creators of this technology. Also, are you looking for a ceramic cooker? Might I suggest the Monolith? It's built with a power draft fan already in it. Smarter control, greater freedom. If you have a controller already, you can wire it right to the fan. Away you go. Easily choose your cooking time and temperature. Let the Monolith do the work of a guru, of a sous chef, or a barbecue pitmaster. With minimal effort, you have oven-like precision at the grill. You can serve the tastiest, juiciest meals each and every time. Any questions? Go to the website, bbqguru.com. Call them if you have further questions, 800-288-GURU. That's 800-288-GURU. We are back to wrap the first hour. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Big name interviews, advice on cooking brisket and ribs, and the only host willing to share his honest opinion on all things important in the world of barbecue. It's the BBQ Central Show.
All right, welcome back. Diane Me is asking if we know what they paid for the building, that being KCBS. Until we know that, cannot make the determination. I've had sources tell me that between the 3.1 sell that is on the table right now and what was owed, yeah, I mean, there's a decent margin going in, decent profit. I do not know what they bought it for, nor do I know what is left on the bill, but if it's plus $1 over sale, then you know you're making money, but I'm sure it's probably better than that. probably get that info. We'll see. All right, we are wrapping the first hour, and remember, Sam the Cooking Guy comes straight away. You're listening and watching the BBQ Central Show right here on the BBQ Central Network. Stick around, be right back.
This is Doug Scheiding, the Rogue Cookers, Texas embedded correspondent. You're listening to the BBQ Central Show.
Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
Boing. We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me.
Fine. How's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead and he's in the crackle.
Charbono! It's all about the charbono, dude!
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 2 feet for wiener.
Oh, listen, Lavernius, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have someone working on it right now.
And just like that, we are into the second hour. Here we go. That's right. It's the BBQ Central Show, and we talk about barbecue and grilling shenanigans. And rarely do we do it, but we do it for this guy whenever he wants. We blast off the second hour with guests. Regular first Tuesday of the month guest, Sam the Cooking Guy. Hi, Sam.
Hi, Greg. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm excellent. Thank you.
How's your musculature?
You know what? I don't have any musculature.
I
wish I did. Trust me.
I wanted to ask you because we were talking a couple weeks ago about like when the first time we started communicating was, and as I always tell everybody each and every week, it always seems like it's 2 to 3 years for me, but it's really been like 10 or 11 years since the first time I saw my first Sam live cast. And then felt like I had enough balls to reach out and ask a question, and that's kind of where it ended up coming from. However, there was a point when you had more weight on your frame, and it seems over the last handful of years you've really been able to find a workable weight that looks healthy. You look good. You look a little musculature, and I'm wondering like what you do. What did you get into?
You know what? I think I'm trying to be careful with what I eat. It's funny, you know what? So the most recent episode that we put up was the cheeseburger taco.
Yep.
And we shoot, and then Max goes away and he edits it and he sends it to me, and then I make comments. Hey, can you shorten that? I think we missed this part. Maybe how about this comment? And as I was watching it yesterday, I yelled, Kelly! And she goes, what? She comes running like something's wrong. I go, I actually don't look fat in this video. And she just rolls her eyes and walks away. So I feel like, but I'm not doing anything other than maybe being a little careful and possibly trading alcohol calories for food calories. I'm not sure if that's doing it, but.
So you're not doing any cardio of any kind or any like bulletproof or anything?
No, and I really need to because I'm definitely advancing in years, and I just don't want all this shit just to fall apart one day.
Yeah.
Like those Western towns in the movies. They look great from the front, but they're only a couple inches thick, and then there's boards holding up the facade. I don't want that to be me in 10 years.
Yeah. All right. Well, just from a visual standpoint.
But thank you. I appreciate it.
It was
and by the way,
nice.
if you ever decide to leave your wife, I'll be ready for you.
All right, here we go. Now we're going to talk about that. Hey, I support it all, my friend. I support it all.
No.
Now, is it just me, Sam, or is one of us perhaps developing yet a new restaurant in Little Italy, the Little Italy Eatery District out there?
Well, since I'm in San Diego and you're in Cleveland, there is a chance it's both of us, but it's definitely one of us.
And it's definitely you.
It's definitely me.
Definitely you. Thought I would try and trick you, but you caught right onto it. All right, so what's going on with this? I just saw it, so I had to ask you.
So I'm currently, you haven't seen it, but I mean, apart from what we show on, in some of the YouTube videos, I'm currently one of 6 little food hall stations in the Little Italy Food Hall.
Right.
And we're doing well. We're really happy. Really happy. Looking for other not taco locations, but we're in kind of we're in a really good first location, and your second location's got to be great. So we're being very cautious. That being said, there is a space that has been available because it's brand new, literally 30 feet, maybe 40 feet across the plaza from where we are, just on the other side of this fountain. It's smaller. It's only 1,600 square feet. And so my partners came and they said, what do we think? Shall we do something? And we had all kinds of ideas, including it being a little market, that you could get a bottle of wine, a baguette, some bread, some cheese, and this and that. And after a few months of scratching and thinking, we came to the conclusion that we're going to do a bar and small eatery. And when I say small eatery, I mean a kitchen that's probably 400 square feet, not even a stove, a proper stove. So it'll be salads and warm and cold sandwiches during the day, and then nighttime, 4 o'clock, we'll switch to more bar snacky kind of food, charcuterie, meat boards and cheese boards and combinations and flatbreads and stuff like that.
Just to throw it out there, because I'm not one to tell you how to do your business, but Guy the Cooking Sam in the chat room says maybe not Baba Ganoush. How about that?
Holy shit! What an idea! By the way, I am a huge Baba Ganoush fan.
Well, he must know. I mean, he's almost your name. He's Guy the Cooking Sam. You're Sam the Cooking Guy. It only makes sense that Baba Ganoush would be on both of your minds. Wow,
constantly.
Yeah.
Wait, are you a Baba Ganoush fan?
I mean, of course you have. It's no surprise that I have no idea what Baba Ganoush is.
It's roasted eggplant. Till the skin really blackens in the oven. Yeah. Then you take it out and you scrape out the pulp and you add garlic and seasoning and stuff like that. It's really good.
Oh, that sounds really good.
It lives right in that same world as hummus.
All right. Well, I love. Is that a shawarma thing too? Like, would I find that at a shawarma restaurant or no?
Yes, potentially. Yeah.
All right.
It's not something you would put. You would put potentially hummus in your shawarma. It would be unlikely you would put Baba Ganoush. It would be a side dish that would be served with pita chips and stuff like that.
All right. So this is going to work potentially in hand in hand with Not Tacos, or it's just going to be something that you and your partners are going to create entirely separately. You'll just be relatively close to both locations.
Well, I'm not sure what hand in hand means. What's that mean?
I guess the better question is these will just be 2 completely separate entities, except for ownership and the fact that you'll be able to see one and the other depending on where you're standing.
Yeah. Yes. We're sort of calling it an extension of the Little Italy Food Hall, though, as well. There will be another bar in there.
Yeah.
It's going to be part bar, bar you can sit at, outside seating, and then the small kitchen behind glass, because the windows will roll up all the way, and the regulations here say if they roll up, you got to completely enclose the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
But then the seating area will be not like less tables and more sort of couches, low seating furniture, coffee tables. We're trying to make it sort of family room feel, very comfortable.
Yep. Got it.
So it'll have a different feel at night, lower level lighting, that kind of stuff. The food hall is bright and noisy all the time, and this will be very different. And we're excited. It's hard to go within a stone's throw of the food hall right now and get sort of a casual sandwich that you don't have to sit down for. You'll be able to come in, get one, and take it away easily, or sit outside, or you also be able to come in and buy a bottle of wine or some beer and take it away or enjoy it right there.
Right.
That kind of thing.
All right. Well, when is there any kind of date for this, or I mean, is just still very beginnings?
No, we're well under construction now,
Oh, all right.
and very likely we'll be. We're looking at the end of September, right? Sorry, the end of January right now.
Oh wow! All right, so we're literally weeks away. We're weeks away.
Couple months away. Yeah.
All right, Sam the Cooking Guy joining me here on the show. You just did. You had mentioned the cheeseburger taco, but I wanted to bring up this other one that you just recently released video wise. The Beyond Meat Big Mac. I'm not too interested in the Big Mac portion of it, but I do want to pick your brain about Beyond Meat and plant-based protein. In the video, you weren't poo-pooing plant-based protein, but you were kind of trying to figure out how can you say protein and plant-based all in the same sentence. I mean, I get all of the weird verbiage that goes in. I prefer plant-based protein than plant-based meat, because I think that is really weird. Plant-based protein I can kind of get behind because I understand there's a distinction to some degree. So let me ask you, just from a grand scheme, because we have seen in 2019, there have been, the crappy bean burgers and all this stuff. They've been out forever. But 2019 specifically, started a little bit in 2018, but 2019 specifically has seen an onslaught of plant-based proteins, a lot of them Beyond and Impossible, really hitting the burger market to a fevered pitch type of degree. What is your take on plant-based protein in general? And then we can kind of dig down and drill down into the Beyond Meat burger and what you like and what you don't.
Look, I'm not opposed to it at all. I do see how there's a real audience for it.
Mm-hmm.
I know personally quite a large handful of people that some choose never to eat meat products, but some like to change it up. And when they found out that there was now a viable option, they were very happy, and I'm happy for them. So they've got something different to go to. And I've somewhere in one of our videos we did what we call the vegetable burger.
Mm-hmm.
And it was vegetables. It was grilled peppers and onions and carrots and mushrooms and shit like that. And I joked that it wasn't like people would call a veggie burger, and it would be full of freaking nuts and twigs and that kind of junk.
Yeah.
So now that something comes along that they say not just looks like it, but sears like it, bleeds like it. I mean, they were saying that in the beginning. I don't know if they say that anymore, because you can see how that might turn off like a full vegetarian.
Yeah, but also saying that any meat bleeds is completely preposterous. It's not blood; it's hemoglobin, of course.
It's not blood, but it's an easy thing. It was an easy visual representation to put out verbally to give people an idea immediately what was going on.
Right.
So I think it's okay. I was skeptical going into it. First time I'd had it. And I also, as you saw, I also bought their sausages. That ultimately, I thought you could fool somebody with one of the sausages before you could with the meat. But you saw it. I mean, if you watch the video, the shit sears like a steak, like a hamburger. It gets a crust on it like a hamburger. It doesn't smell right. It doesn't smell like a hamburger when you smell it raw at all.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the thing that confused me, as I said, it says cook it to an internal temperature of like 100 and whatever it was, 165 or whatever the number was.
Oh.
I'm like, wait a minute. Can't you should it just be able to eat this shit right now? It's plant-based, so what is going to go wrong if I eat it without cooking it? I still don't understand that. And I'm a lazy son of a bitch, and I haven't done any research to find that out. I should probably go look that up, but I was curious about that. So it doesn't smell like it, looks like it. The taste, though, is kind of close. The texture, I don't think is close.
Okay.
And when I cut it open and I showed the inside of it, you would know you weren't looking at a burger.
Yeah.
Like a regular, beef burger. because it has a strange texture. It's far too tight and granulated.
I was going to say, is it more like packed and not nearly as loose?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's way more packed.
Yep.
So that was the burger. I don't want to give anything away, but I've since used it again.
Oh.
And it was interesting. It was an interesting experiment. So you can watch for that one coming up. But the sausage that I cooked, it tasted like a seasoned sausage, like some version of a bratwurst, Greg. It was rather surprising, and it looked quite like one when it was cut. The inside replicated a sausage much more than their burger replicated the inside of a burger.
Yep.
But it was funny because it did not take a char. It did not get grill stripes like a regular sausage would. So, look, the fact that they are as far ahead as they are is amazing.
Yeah.
And yet I'm one of these guys. I'm still amazed you can make a telephone call. How does that work?
I mean,
but now they're taking things that are not burger or pork or the beef and making them very much like those things. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, for sure. Now, are you so impressed that you guys are sourcing for NNT or not so fast?
We just started the conversation.
Oh.
After the cheeseburger taco, we finish shooting and the camera goes down and we're packing up and stuff. Jilly, Max's wife, who runs audio, said, why do you not have an option for this down at Not Not?
Yeah.
I said, I don't know that many people are asking for it yet. We have a protein style option. So you don't have one of our flour tortillas made with lard. It's a leaf.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't get a whole lot of attention, which is fine. I'm not saying that it would be any different with the meat thing, but
is it one of those things from a business perspective where you and the partners would just have to decide we're going to buy X amount, we're going to put it on the menu for X time, we'll promote it to a certain degree and see if it takes off, and if it doesn't, then forget about it. And you would do it as a ground beef product, not as any type of patty or burger lookalike.
That's correct. Yeah, we don't have a burger lookalike. Like our cheeseburger taco is ground beef that's chopped up on the flat top. When we opened with two vegetarian options. Mm-hmm. One was a tofu veggie taco, all done in a wok with like a cilantro pesto, lots of vegetables and stuff. And the other one was a curried egg salad. And the curried egg salad got very little love,
mm-hmm.
even though it was my favorite. Probably always will be. But I think people came in and they went, oh, look, there's Korean short rib and smoky pork and mac and cheeseburger and meatloaf, whatever, all that kind of stuff. I can make egg salad at home, so why have it here?
Yeah.
The reality was it was curried egg salad, and then when it went in one of our amazing flour tortillas with tomato and lettuce and whatever, it was really even better. But so that was the low man on the totem pole. We cut that off. The bottom one has been ever since the veggie tofu. So it's hard to say. Will there be a bigger command or demand for a Beyond Burger product? We'll find out. I don't know. I think it's likely we'll run an experiment at some point, though, for sure.
Sam, a couple minutes left here with you, and I appreciate the time this evening. From a gifts giving, because we are now in the teeth of the holiday season, when people are asking you, what should I buy my husband, my wife, they're into live fire or cooking in general, what are the top 2 or 3 things that you're recommending in 2019?
I always go to a good digital instant read thermometer.
Yeah.
I think almost everybody in the barbecue world seems to own one.
Yeah.
That being said, you're going to have listeners that are new to this, maybe new to cooking, and it is your best friend. There is no need to guess anymore whether your steak is done to where you want it. And I understand that the maybe the pros that push it on the palm of their hand bullshit, but I've effed up a bunch of meat, not gauging the thickness of my thumb pad versus the steak I was trying to cook. And you know, a ribeye cooks different than a New York than a tenderloin. So if you know 135 is medium rare for you, buy one of these things. Thermapen makes a great one, but they are a little expensive. And there are other options that are way less expensive that work, maybe not in 3.5 seconds, but maybe 5, and that's okay. But the old school ones that take 12 seconds, it's just a pain in the ass. They're not that good. If you're cooking a turkey and you open up the oven door and it takes you an extra 10 seconds, you're losing all the heat. There's a lot of recovery time. So get a good digital instant read thermometer. Get a cast iron pan.
Yes.
Because you've got to have one. You can buy them seasoned now, and even though they're seasoned, they still take a little breaking in. If you have a cast iron pan and you live in a horrible weather country and you want to grill, but you don't want to grill outside in the rain or sleet or snow or whatever you've got, get a cast iron grill pan, flat on one side, ridge on the other.
Yep.
One of the greatest things I own. I always tell people about those. No one's ever been disappointed. And I sent you a picture of something that I bought for a friend and then bought myself. I bought myself a steak branding iron.
You did?
It was motivated. I sent you just about 10, 15 minutes ago. I sent you a picture of my logo branded into a steak. It looks like a burger, but it was a ribeye that sort of puffed up as it was cooking.
Yeah, I'm showing it on the camera right now. That's unbelievable.
It's 2 or 2.5 inches. You can't go bigger than that because if you want to do a little steak and you want to use that, it's not electric. You heat it up on open fire. It was, I think it was about $120 or maybe $150. I bought one for a friend who's a huge grilling fan, and he's a guy that has almost anything when it comes to the grilling world, and I knew he wouldn't have one of these with his logo on it. So I bought him one of those. And as I was ordering it, I went, shit, how do I not get one for myself?
And now you have one.
Now I have one.
Nice. All right. Last question. What do you want for the holiday season? If money was no object, what would you want?
Honestly, I don't even think I know. Wow, I haven't thought about that. I'm a really bad person to buy for because I never really want anything. Holy shit, man. I need knives. Oh, yeah, you put knives on the list. People always need a good knife.
Yeah.
One good knife. Just get one good knife. And don't make it like 12 inches long, for God's sakes. Nobody can use that.
Yeah.
Get one. Get a good 7, 8-inch chef's knife. You'll be fine. Honestly, Greg, I have more hair. Is that an appropriate answer?
I hear that. Bring that. May hair Santa Claus come to both of us then. Oh, my goodness. All right, Sam.
Yes, sir.
You can check Sam out at thecookingguy.com. Get all the recipes. Visit him at notnottacos.com as well. And then we will check in next month for the update on the new place. Sam, have a great holiday season. Happy New Year if I don't talk to you until then, and we will do it again next year.
Friend.
All right, pal.
I do hope to talk to you before, but thank you anyways.
All right, we'll talk to you.
Okay, man. See you.
There he is,
Bye.
Sam the cooking guy. Right there. Going to a meeting. Got to go to a meeting. All right, I'm feverishly looking at this picture that he gave me. So the website is called brandingirons.com. Let's go ahead and check out what they have. Wood, leather, food. Food. Yeah, that's what we want. All right. So we'll click on food. Branding irons. Single letters, 2 to 3 letters. Single letter A through Z Western style. Blah, blah, blah. I'm looking for a logo. Custom steak branding iron. Custom stainless steel food branding iron. I kind of look at fire heated. What does that mean? That one looks electric, and it's very expensive. Holy moly. 2.75 inches, 2.75 inches. Looking for something a little smaller, I think. 2.25 inches for a custom food branded fire heated $394. Whoa.
Get that big stuff out of here.
Is that right? Can that be right? I'm looking at this other one, but it doesn't have a price on it. That one's round, but it says custom. And then there's a custom steak branding iron, but I don't know if you can do logo with that. That's a little, I mean, that's still expensive for a branding iron, $160, but it's custom, I guess. And they probably have to do setup, but probably, I don't know. I don't know if branding irons are the way to go. You know? Are you going to brand? He sent me a picture of a burger with his logo burned into it. But don't we all know that no matter what burger you put on, it's going to get covered by a bun, and before the bun is going to get covered by a piece of cheese?
Get that big stuff out of here.
Diane Me weighs in on the instant chat. I don't think I'd get a branding iron if I had children. Look, I think there's a lesson to be learned there. If the kid is going to touch the branding iron, how many times are they going to touch it? Once. They're going to touch it once. That's it. That's the biggest question that I get when I break out the art flame isn't that a hazard? Because, you know, you're burning a live fire in the middle of it, whether you're doing charcoal or wood. It's a huge steel cooking implement that stays hot forever and ever and ever. And could a kid walk around and stick their hand up there? Absolutely. Would they get burned? Absolutely. They would get burned. But it would happen on any grill. You can walk up to any grill that's on and put your hand on it if you're a kid and burn the shit out of your hand, just like you would on a branding iron. It's probably less, there's less potential of them burning their hand on a branding iron, depending on, you know, if you're just leaving it on the floor hot, than they would going up to a grill and touching it and potentially burning. So always be cognizant of your children. If you're going to be a irresponsible parent, you shouldn't be in live fire. You're banned from live fire. That's what I'm doing today. If you're an irresponsible parent, do us all a favor, and you are not allowed to be a live fire cook. Now, please. All right. That's Sam the cooking guy. Now I got to figure out how I'm going to catch up here, or reload, as it were. Because my format is totally blown. I'll talk to you quickly about Green Mountain Grills, makers of some of the best pellet cookers out there on the market today. A couple different lines to choose from. The original line, which I have 2 of. There's also the Prime line. Prime line is built a little bit more heartily, has a little bit more tech on it. You got 2 internal meat probes instead of the one that you would find on the original line. Jim Bowie, Daniel Boone, Davy Crockett, all 3 the same across, no matter what. Davy Crockett is your portable option, so if you are really into the midst of oncoming college football playoffs, and end of the regular season, you want something to take with you because you love pellet wood-fired goodness, Davy Crockett is what you want to use. If you don't have access to a traditional power outlet, don't worry about that. They have a 12-volt adapter. You can plug it right into the 12-volt outlet in your car, and it's powered, it's running. You're not sacrificing a great amount of quantity for portability. You can stick a bunch of food in there. It's going to taste great. You just stick it in your trunk or the back of your truck or van or SUV, and away you go, back home. Easy to transport too. And again, 12-volt technology, great stuff. Daniel Boone, Jim Bowie, bigger ones. Go on your patios. Or maybe you have a big-ass truck. You can just roll them right up, whatever. The Prime line has 12-volt technology on both of those. Classic line, you're going to need a 3-pronged outlet in order to fire up. Prime line has look-in windows on the main cooking chamber and the pellet hopper. Both of them have the opportunity to be outfitted with a pizza oven. Come on, you got to get it. I'm telling you right now, it should be law that if you get a Daniel Boone or a Jim Bowie, that you have to get the pizza oven in. Now, maybe you're allergic to gluten. Maybe you hate pizza with a passion. I'm not talking to you people. For the rest of us that don't have those afflictions or terrible palates, you got to get the pizza oven. It's so fun. You simply pull the guts out of the cooker, you slam the pizza oven down on top of it, and away you go. Set the temperature wherever you want it. 350 degrees will get you about 700 degrees on the stone. That's where I kind of like to live at, maybe a little less than that 320, 325. But if you want to take it up to 500 on the cooker, you're hovering right into the 1,000-degree mark in that pizza oven. For me, too risky. If it starts to get loose, when it starts to turn, there's no coming back. It's a very, very tight window. Now, if you're a Matt Frampton, you can probably run hotter than that, but he is a pizza expert of the world. I'm a pizza expert from time to time on certain weekends. And if Aleshi's has my pizza dough balls ready to go. I don't make my own dough. Forget it. But I can make any kind of pie I want. They're all done 2 to 3 minutes. Let's go. Cauliflower crust, huh, Diane? I like that. Got to try that next time out. All right, we will be right back as we venture into the last part of the show. If you want to take part, you jump in, 216-220-0966. You can also email the show, Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. And the website to get those grills I was talking about, Green Mountain Grills, greenmountaingrills.com. Sauces, rubs, accessories, all that other stuff. Stick around, we'll be right back.
Continuing to produce incredibly mediocre content in an exceptionally professional way. You're listening and watching the BBQ Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by Fireboard. Monitor up to 6 different temperatures simultaneously. Connect to Wi-Fi for cloud-based monitoring or connect via Bluetooth. And if you have Alexa or the Google Assistant in your house, you're in luck because Fireboard is fully integrated with both. You can find out more by visiting fireboard.com or call 816-945-2232. That's 816-945-2232 today. And that is going to be, I know they're sponsored the show, but that is going to be an item that I am in full agreement with people recommending. If you're looking for something that is going to give you some remote temperature access, a great and easy to use interface, super simple to set up right out of the box, connected quickly to your local area network. Get the app on your phone. You can also sign up with the account on your computer. You can see all the graphing. You can save everything. You can make notes. It's not an automatic temperature controlled device, although there is a port, and they do sell a ancillary fan, so it can kind of be like one. Although, I mean, I would humbly suggest that if you're going to look for a straight-up automatic pit temperature controlled device, that you would look over at the Barbecue Guru. But if you have a Fireboard, you want to mess around with a fan, certainly it's your prerogative, your discretion to do that. But it's so easy to use. I feel like such a supreme crap for not using it right off the bat when they sent it to me. But now I'm in love with it. I love it. 6 ports, so you can have a veritable cornucopia of pit temperature probes and internal meat temperature probes, whatever mix you like. Set up alarms, get notified, all that. And if you're at the grocery store, you can easily check in through the app on where your meat or protein is at and the internal temperature side. It's great. I love Fireboard. Okay. Still to come on this show, it's me and you together doing it. We talked with Sam, the cooking guy, right at the top of the hour until about 5 or 6 minutes ago. Then he had business to attend to. So if you want to jump in on the show, here's how you do it.
You can get in touch with the show by calling 216-220-0966. Email Greg at the BBQCentralShow.com. On the Twitter and Instagrams at BBQ Central Show.
You can also follow me socially, as he just said, at BBQ Central Show on Instagram and Twitter, / BBQ Central Show on Facebook. Coming up this Friday on the Best Moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less, we have episode 101. Back in September of 2016, if you can believe it, almost 4 years ago, Rod Gray, the pitmaster of Pellet Envy, stopped by the show, and we did not one, but 2 segment dissertation on sponsorships for barbecue teams. Because everybody back in 2016 was all like, how can I get a sponsorship? I should be sponsored. I'm really good. Pay me money. Well, how are you going to do that? How are you going to go about approaching? What's the ask? Should you be a straight cash taker, or are you looking for product? What the hell does sponsorship even mean anymore? Well, in 2016, we did our best to cover it in 2 segments. Rod did the lion's share of the talking. I know, big surprise, right? But I would say, by and large, the majority of the content, both in the program that John put together, is evergreen. But if you go back and listen, if you are just new to the show and you don't know about the Best Moments show is a true podcast in every sense of the word, where it is dropped into a timed feed once a week, Fridays, and you get a show that has 2 segments, and each of those segments are portions of a past show that are 10 minutes or less, hence the name of the show. Now, some people go, well, technically, dude, it's 20 minutes, so I don't even know, what that show title means. The Best Moments in 10 minutes or less, but it's like 20 minutes. Totally understandable. My mission is to make sure that I confuse you as quickly and as easily as possible. Mission accomplished. Thank you. Again, the concept is this. 2 segments of really great past interviews to tickle you with a feather, if you will. Because underneath that, you have a link to the entire show. So my goal, my hope, I'm sure John's hope as well, I'm not trying to talk for John, that if you listen to the Best Moments, that it might inspire you to click on the link and go back and listen to the whole show. Because remember, in a lot of cases, there might have been 2, potentially 3 other guests in that show that didn't even make the cut for Best Of. It might have been one of your favorite shows ever. You just forgot about it because it was 7 years old or 10 years old or whatever. So that's what's happening this Friday. Now, I do want to go back because while I was set to do a love fest all over John Solberg last week, my daughter was in top of the second hour. Now, wait a second. Look at me being a hypocrite. Nobody's decided to call me out on it, which I certainly appreciate. Actually, the past 2 weeks, which has never been seen before, there have been top of the second hour guests. That's right. Last week, top of the second hour, the freshman from Wycliffe, Bobby Rempe, courtesy of Villa Angela St. Joseph High School, by way of Seton Hill University, was back for Thanksgiving vacation, and she sat in at the top of the second hour, and we went over the freshman season. Don't forget, if you're going to be over in that Wheeling Jesuit University, or whatever the hell they're calling it now, because the Jesuits pulled out, I think they just call it Wheeling University now. If you're going to be over in Wheeling University area Thursday around 2:30, the Seton Hill University Griffins women's volleyball team will start the run to a national championship as they take on Gannon University, a foe of the PSAC. They handily wiped the court with our collective faces earlier in the year, but Seton Hill had a different-looking team due to injury at that point. And as my daughter astutely pointed out last week at the top of the second hour, they had the best statistical game they had ever had up until that point. So there's a legitimate shot. I mean, you play the games why to see who's going to win. We just don't look at it on paper and decide winner or loser. So there's a legitimate shot that it's going to be a win. And if they win on Thursday at 2:30, they play again Friday at 5. And if they win, they play for the chance to advance into the Elite Eight at 5 p.m. on Saturday. So there could be a potential of winning winning volleyball happening starting Thursday. So again, if you are in that area and you perhaps are unemployed because you would be free at 2:30, or you want to take a vacay day, email me, Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. We'll probably be hitting up the gymnasium around 2 p.m., signing autographs and taking pictures with all the Centralites as they start to fill in to support the fam as, again, we start to make the run for a national championship bid. That's Wheeling University. I think that's what they name it now. Great stuff. Now, as I sidetracked myself, allow me to say this. The last week saw the 100th episode of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less. And I did want to recognize that just for a few minutes. You know, this was a project that I had thought about doing for some time. The original concept came from the Howard Stern show. There was a small portion in time. You know, that show is ever evolving. There's so much archive there. I'm certain, make no mistake, I'm not about to compare my archive of work to Howard's of 50 years or whatever he has. But there was a thing called something about 10 great minutes or something along these lines. So I adopted, then made it my own into the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less. And Howard was playing 10 great minutes of a full-length episode or interview that he had with somebody. And I thought, man, what a great idea. Go back, pull 10-minute clips of a great interview, and inspire people to say, hey, I remember that, and, you know, that was a great run back down memory lane. Or is there any way for me to get that show and go back and listen to the whole thing live, which is, again, what the goal that John and I have is. Certainly John wants to put together a show that is entertaining you and maybe making your mind race a little bit or make you think about certain things. But ultimately, too, we want to continue to bubble up the old episodes, and that's why that whole show link is existing underneath it. And show 1 was really good. But show 100, let me rephrase this. How show 1 sounded was good. How show 100 sounded, holding the interview aside. But I'm just talking about, you know, the progression of, you know, 1 and 10 and 40 and 50 and 100. We're getting ready to start at the turn of the year in 2020, year 3 of the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less. 100 episodes, 101 technically at this point. So we have to be now one of the Additionally, aside from this show, which I believe is the longest running barbecue podcast, it's a show first, but it's also a podcast. The Best Moments show has to be right up there with one of the longest recurring barbecue style podcasts out there. You have my show. You have Man is Barbecue with Mickey. He's probably second. He's got a long running show. Third, I don't know. There's a lot of shows that have popped up, but they're maybe just this year. We're starting our third year. The only other show that I can sit here and tell you with a surety, and it's not for public consumption, it's an exclusive contracted podcast. Oh, by the way, I do it. For Meathead at his Pitmasters Club, I think I just put episode 185 or 186 in the can for him. That has to be the third longest running podcast. So I have to have two of the three, if not three of the 5 or 6 longest running podcasts that are currently out there right now. Or that it at least uses me in some form or fashion. Technically, it's my show, but it's John's pod. He's the one that's putting it all together. Semantics. It's a team effort. And by team, I mean John does all the work. Okay? That's what I'm saying. But I'll take credit for it when I can. So if you aren't a fan of it or you don't know about it, give it another try if you didn't like it for whatever reason. Make sure that you're signed up for the podcast so it always shows up Friday morning, and sometimes I forget. But the progression that he has made and the way that the show sounds and the way he has honed his craft in hosting the best moments of the show has been so exciting to watch. He does such a great job. He's so professional. He is great in the cutting of audio. It's just an absolute pleasure to listen to. I listen back to my shows to hear how much of a dope I sound like and to try to not sound so dopey the next week, but to hear how he goes about putting together the shows is an absolute joy for me to listen to. And I don't remember a lot of stuff just because there's such an archive of information back there. I can't possibly remember all the interviews I've done or this particular thing or that particular. Your favorite moment might be different from this guy's favorite moment or this gal's favorite moment. This is what I'm saying. But John has done such a great job. I can't fathom anybody else that I would trust to carry on the Best Moments show should John decide that he's had enough or that a bus hits him or whatever the case may be. The show leaves with John, however John might leave. So, John, no pressure, but you're not allowed to leave because I really like doing or having the best moments of the show done every Friday. It's a nice value add. It's a good change of pace. And you are a terrific partner to work with. And I really value the time that you put in. I mean, think about it. He's not just randomly picking a date out of the archive and then just picking out 10 minutes. He's listening to whole shows. I can't even begin to imagine the hours of shows that he listened to that he said, trash, unusable, not going to do it, not done that. That's a lot of time. This show is 2 hours at a clip. So just on raw hours alone, the investment that he's putting in is huge. It is completely appreciated by me. And I certainly don't want to speak for everybody else that are fans of the Best Moments show, but we appreciate that work. We love that. So, John, I bid you a huge thanks. My appreciation is one that you will never fully come to grasp because my ability to communicate feelings is poor. But know that I appreciate it. And you are a valued member of this inner circle team that few are led into. And here's to 100 more, or 200 more, or 300 more. Let's get it to be the longest running live fire show. Why not? Let's do it. As long as I'm a part of it, we can do this. John, thank you so much. We celebrate you. Let's celebrate John for crying out loud. Is that possible? Of course it is. When we come back, everybody has to get to a video monitor because I'm going to show you something that is absolutely going to blow your mind. Know this, that when you see it, the answer is no, they do not have this in America.
Andrew, you are not the fire.
They do not.
Andrew,
do
you
not.
are not the fire.
But you're going to want to see it. Oh, you're going to want to see it. Attention, folks in the biz of barbecue. Established in 1882, Southside Market and Barbecue, the oldest barbecue joint in Texas. They've been owned and operated by the same family for 3 generations, offering premium Central Texas barbecue products like brisket and ribs and sausages. You know what I'm talking about. Slow smoked over real wood. Shipping, distributing, manufacturing sausages for companies across the U.S., from food trucks to multi-chain restaurants. Southside Sausage can be on your menu, too. All meats are processed in the on-site USDA-inspected facility, a trusted partner with a focus on quality and authenticity. Wholesale options are available. Shipping nationwide via FedEx. Food service distribution via Cisco, U.S. Foods, and Martin Foods. Co-packaging capable, from research and development to package completion. They can follow your recipe or help you develop something brand new. They also have private label opportunities if you want to do that. You visit SouthsideMarket.com for more information on all of those items. And here's the kicker. If you use code BBQ Central, you get 10% off your entire online order the first time, the 10th time, all the time. SouthsideMarket.com is the website. Pick out all of the stuff that you want. And remember, for the holiday season, you can ship to a bunch of different destinations. You don't get charged extra for that. No. Visit SouthsideMarket.com as you check out. Use promo code BBQ Central for 10% off your online order. Thanks to the gang, Nick, and everybody over at Southside Market. Looking forward to 2020. And find a monitor, because you're going to want to see it. Stick around. Be right back.
Whole packers, full racks, legs and thighs, injecting butts. If you've never heard this before, you might think you found the best XXX show ever. Let's get back to the most homoerotic host out there today, Craig Rimpey.
And that's me, your homoerotic host. This portion of the show being brought to you by Smithfield. Committed Cooks. If you are down, if you want to show your Smithfield pride, get on over to smokingwithsmithfield.com. For a small fee of like $25, you get a whole bunch of stuff back in return. Last year it was towards $200 retail, I believe. Bunch of cool Smithfield swag. Go to smokingwithsmithfield.com. That's smoking, S-M-O-K-I-N, smokingwithsmithfield.com. You can get all of your details there. You can also see if you are a barbecue event promoter. You can see if the grant program is still accepting applications. You know what? Let me do that. I should know that. Committed Cooks program, grant program. Let's see. All right. 2020 grant program now closed. So if you missed out, you missed out. However, Committed Cooks program still open, so get on it. And we will see how Smithfield fares in 2020. All right, I promised you this. I got to make sure I'm on the right screen. Is this it? Nope. Guy that made fun of me. Banner. No, that's not it. All right, I'll just make a new screen out of it because it's worth it. Bear with me here as I capture the screen. Screen capture, monitor 2. All right, here we go. Let me blow it out. Now, you can see this right here with me. What you are about to see. You know what? I'm not even going to tell you what you're about to see. You're just going to watch it, and you're either going to be really scared Or you're going to be laughing or both. I got to make sure that I'm going pretty high volume because I want to make sure you hear everything. Check this out.
Точно?
Look at All right, now, look, can we please start breaking this down immediately? First of all, I think this is Russian, okay? So, I mean, this is a slap boxing, or this is a real thing that happens over there. The guy on the left with the blue, looks like scrub top, this guy is like top slapper of Russia. If you go to YouTube and you put in like slap fights, Russia or something like that, this guy is in every single one of them. Oh, by the way, he wins every single one of them. Look at this son of a bitch. Look what's happening here. You got the guy on the left who's easily into 3 bills. Then you got the guy on the right who has an incredible amount of body modification done. His eyeballs are done. He's got tattoos all over the place. Face tattoos. Like, that's commitment to a tattoo whole nother level. Okay? You get tattoos on your face, and you are really slimming down the amount of job opportunities that you're going to be taking. And here's the rules of this slapping contest. You slap the guy in the face, and if you don't slap enough shit out of him, he gets to slap you. And the first one to quit loses, and then we move to the next round. That's what happens. So at some point, the guy on the right smacked enough shit out of other people to earn the privilege of going up against this guy. You know, my man on the right was feeling pretty strong about himself when he laid this smack on Beefcake Jack right here. Look at that. The powder flies off his face. It sounds, really impressive. And
thank you for downloading the Central Show.
No. Hold on, goddammit. I'm not done yet. I'm breaking this down as we speak. My man was pretty happy with this smack. Look at that. The guy in the blue hardly moves. Look at that. And boom, he's like right back. He's like, okay, here we go. Look at the meat. Look at the meat paw on this guy. The guy's got tattoo. Meanwhile, the guy that's about to get smacked. I mean, look over here. Look at these tattoos over here. He's got some of it stars under his eyes, butterfly here on the cheek. He's obviously got some eyeball thing going on. All that is not going to help what is about to happen right here. Hold on to your hat, son. And that's it for him. I mean, look at this guy's face right. Where are we at? Right here. He's like, oh! You ever heard the sound a human makes when he poops himself? That's the sound he makes. His eyes are tattooed. Wow, I thought they were like contact lenses. Meanwhile, if we could just go right back to seeing this guy get murdered. By the way, if we can look here. See, if you look down, his right hip is tilted back. He's pivoted. This face of determination, you can see his left hand is cocked up like he's about ready to rabbit punch him. But all are levers of motion to lay this smack down. Oh! Look at that. Oh, my. I mean, I love it. I love it. That guy thought, hey, man, I'm going to really smack this guy. He didn't know who he was. He didn't know he was the smack box champ. All right. I'll show it to you one more time because you asked. How? You know, if that would have been me, I would have been knocked out. Literally knocked out. Anyway, YouTube it if you want. All the way back in the first hour, we talked with Malcom Reed, first Tuesday of the month regular guest, How to BBQ Right. KillerHogsBBQ.com or KillerHogs.com if you want to check out some sauce and rub packages that Rochelle has put together. Appreciate Malcom rolling with me through 2019, and we'll see him in 2020 for sure. We also talked with Emily Detweiler, CEO.
Hi, this is Jeff Stone of Grandpa's Fried Barbecue.
Jeff, you're just going to have to wait a minute. Okay? Can I please get out of my show in a proper fashion? My fault.